and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to club football this weekend, guys, where I think it is quite a welcome return, if I'm being honest. I know we had some struggles before the international break, but actually, during the break, things got even worse. So what I would like to see us now is get back to the field and get some good feelings back in this team. Coming up today, we're going to be talking about how Xavi is going to try and replace Gavi. We're also going to be talking about the return of Frenkie de Jong, the imminent arrival of Vitor Roque, and also the possible lineup heading into Saturday's game against Rayo. It is all coming your way, so let's get to it. Because if we do kick off, first of all, with a reminder of where we stand in the league table right now. We are in third place, 4 points off the top there, behind Girona and Real Madrid. We're 2 points behind Real. I think Atleti, they're lurking, aren't they? They're very much going under the radar again this season. They're in fourth right now, but they've got a game in hand, and they are playing some good football as well. And take a good note there of all of those teams around us right now, guys, because I want to talk about the games that we have coming up. I want to talk about this period that is arriving for Barça, whereby it's kind of make or break in many ways. We start, of course, with Rayo away from home on Saturday. Then it's a massive game against Porto in midweek in the Champions League. That is absolutely colossal. We follow that up then with a game against Atletico at home as well. So we've got two big home games next week, and then we follow it up with another 1 week on against top of the table Girona. Will they still be top by that game? We'll have to wait and see before we then play Antwerp away in the Champions League. So as you can see there, some really big games, massive fixtures that are going to demand the best level here from Barça, and we simply must find that again. And I think even this game right here, you may feel as though that Rayo in 10th place is a bit of an easier fixture, but actually they're a very good team. Very recently they actually took points off Real Madrid, and in terms of Barça against Rayo, we haven't beaten them since 2021. They have 3 wins and 1 draw against us over the past 2 seasons in La Liga. They really got our number. They have been dealing with us in the league, and we have to put that right here, and it won't be an easy game. Early kickoff as well on Saturday. And of course, all the while, guys, we are having to contend with what has been a catastrophic injury. There is no other word of describing the injury to Gavi. It's been heartbreaking. It really has on every single one of us here, the players, the fans. We never ever wanted to see that happen to him. And I think Deco said it perfectly there in the week when he was asked basically, how do you replace him? Can you go out in January? Can you think about signing somebody to come in and replace his impact? He said the winter market anyway is always a tough market. It's a difficult market to deal in. It's not easy. But he said when you're talking about Gavi, he's irreplaceable. We will not find a player that is like him. And that is why we won't be able to sort of bring in a replacement. We've got to focus here on what we have already at the club. And I think that says it perfectly. We can't replace him. He is irreplaceable in this team. What he brings us on the field, what he brings in terms of his spirit. But I do feel as though right now, this is a massive opportunity for Fermin Lopez. We've already seen him this season starting to break through, grabbing opportunities, looking very, very confident in this Barca team. And I feel as though now we're going to have to put even more faith in him. And obviously, he's not a like-for-like replacement for Gavi there. He's a very different kind of player. But a lot of what he has in his locker there, the urgency in his game, a bit of dynamism from midfield, actually bringing some attacking threat there. I think we need all of those things, and I think he can certainly have a big, big part to play now this season. And what I actually think is every single player needs to give more. Every player needs to work that bit harder now, needs to bring that bit of extra intensity simply just to make up for Gavi's absence. What he brought with his energy, with his desire, with his spirit, we need to replace that somehow. And that means every single player must step up. They must make him proud. But of course, guys, another man who is going to be absolutely vital in midfield now, even more so in the absence of Gavi, it is Frenkie de Jong, who became a father for the very first time on Tuesday after his partner Mickey gave birth to a baby boy. Many congratulations there to the two of them. That must be an incredibly special moment for them, but I would say probably that's going to be as special as how it will be for us seeing Frenkie back in this Barca team. Obviously, I'm joking, but this guy, he is incredibly important to our team right now, because if you look at the way that he's performing back back before his injury against Celta, the level that he was showing, the consistency in his performances, it was absolutely incredible. He was directly contributing there to how good the team actually was. And I think some people doubted just how good he was, just how much of an impact he was actually having. But since he's been away, well, it's clear for everybody to see. And I think now with Frenkie coming back in, he is going to show us once again what he means to this team, how important he is. And I'm sure that we're going to see an improvement in our performances, and certainly in that midfield. It will be a very, very big boost at a time where it's much needed. But I would also like to talk here today, guys, about Vitor Roque, and especially actually because he spoke on the channel yesterday about how things had dramatically changed when it came to his future after the unfortunate injury to Gavi, that it looks now as though Vitor Roque will be able to join us in January. But I do just want to clarify, based on what we said yesterday about Gavi effectively being deregistered from this team there, in order for Barca then to use up his wages on another player, that player will be Roque coming in. But I just want to make it clear here that Gavi is still going to be paid by Barca. A lot of people yesterday thought that maybe because he was going to be deregistered, because we were going to use his wages on somebody else, maybe Gavi wasn't even going to get paid while he was out. But that's not the case, guys. He will still be under his same contract. We're only talking here about strictly FFP purposes, La Liga restrictions. That is all that we're trying to do here. And it's only on paper, really, that Gavi isn't going to be picking up those wages. He is. He's just not going to be registered anymore in La Liga. He's not going to be taking up salary space in our salary cap, but he will still be receiving his original contract. Nothing on that will be changing, so don't worry about Gavi. But on Vitor Roque, he will apparently now arrive in Barcelona on the 20th of December, and what he's going to have then is a really nice period with the team. Over the Christmas break, there's going to be a lot of training sessions. There's going to be time there to get to know his teammates, to understand the city a bit more, and those are going to be really, really helpful days as he settles in his early Barca career. And the aim right now is very clear, that Roque should be available to make his Barca debut against Las Palmas in the very first game of 2024 on January the 3rd. And what an incredible moment that would be, and especially if the words of Romario, the Brazilian legend, are anything to go by. He spoke earlier on this week about Roque when he said, Vitor Roque is Brazil's most complete striker. And that right there talking is a legend of the game, a former Barca player too. He knows all about being a great striker, and I think we've got exciting times on our hands. Very, very exciting times to come with Vitor Roque. If we move though back to the job in hand this Saturday against Rayo Vallecano, the big injury news on this one is that Marc-Andre ter Stegen, he has not made it in time. Throughout the week there, he was really pushing to be involved. He had a lot of physiotherapy on that back pain, but he's not quite recovered. He hasn't been training. He arrived this morning at the training centre to discuss whether he was going to make it, whether he felt okay to play, and he left actually before the training session even started. So he continues there to suffer with that pain, and it looks as though now Iñaki Peña, he is going to be the man starting between the sticks, and that is a massive game for him, a real opportunity that he now has to take advantage of. So Iñaki Peña starting in goal against Rayo. For me, Alejandro Balde should be recalled at left back. Let's get him back to his very best right now. Cancelo on the right hand side as well. At centre back, now if Araujo played, he'd be the captain, given that ter Stegen not available, also Sergio Roberto not back yet. But I'm not really sure that Araujo is going to start, because after international breaks, especially there when he goes away with Uruguay, that long journey back, often Xavi doesn't like to risk him the very next game. So let's wait and see if he is involved. But I think Koundé and Christensen there could line up at centre-back. Inigo Martinez, of course, really pushing for a spot as well. Now, in midfield, though, that is the big one, isn't it? Because Frenkie will be back. He's ready to return, but obviously he's unlikely to start this game, given that he has spent a lot of time on the sidelines. We're looking right now, I think, at the final 30 minutes of the game. Maybe from 60 minutes or so, we'll see De Jong enter, and that will be a big, big boost for everybody involved. But right now, when you are looking at the options that we have, do you need to start Oriol Romeo in that holding area? Do you need that anchor, that more defensive player in in a game like this? It is away from home, of course. Or is there an opportunity there now to do something a little bit more bold? Can you afford to play Gundogan there and actually have Pedri and Fermin Lopez as the more attack-minded players, their creative options in midfield? I'd love to see those two, it's an exciting combination that we haven't really got to see much of yet, but I think that midfield trio there, it could work. I really, really do believe that, and it'll be interesting to see what Xavi does before introducing again Frenkie de Jong with João Felix on the left-hand side, Robert Lewandowski playing down the middle, and then on the right, I'm thinking maybe again it might be Lamine Yamal. He enjoyed a good international break there with Spain, and again with Rafinha, you've got that long-haul flight coming back. He had a very, very physical game against Argentina for Brazil. Let's wait and see if he starts here, but I'm thinking maybe Xavi will go with Yamal. But what do you make there, guys, of that team? Do you feel as though that would be capable of providing something better, an improved level of performance? That is really what we want to see. Let me know down in the comments below, because in terms of the predictions in this one, I would say actually the mood is better than before the international break. I think time is often a good healer. We want to see Barca now ready to go again. We want to see Barca much, much improved, as I say. The majority believing we can do it by 2+ goals on Saturday. But let's wait and see if we can. It's a big, big game for us. It's an important start to a huge run of fixtures to come. And do let me know, guys, all of your predictions in the comments down below. What do you think the score is going to be? And how would you line up? I will see you after the game for the full reaction. Let's hope, let's really, really hope it's a great game from Barca. Let's hope it's a great performance from this club. I will see you then, guys, for all of that. Thank you indeed for joining me, though. And until next time, as always, Visca, El Barça.